did email you some videos today.
Yes, I will show them. I have one from Nibiru, but I will check them all out during the interview, and I'll show you whenever you want me to show them. What about? This is almost as beautiful as your music. Everybody.
I'll be right back.
Okay. It's 4 minutes long. What about? Brother Seven is here today, my people. Finally. I've cried so many times for this music, Seven. I'll try not to cry today. Join the ride with Seven Spaulding today, my friends. Mama Bear. Get well soon, Mama Bear. I saw you yesterday at Richie when I was going to bed. Mama Bear, we love you so much. Brother Seven. What about? It's almost done. Na 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 na. Oh my gosh. Seven, do you imagine how you felt when I made you that music?
Well, we'll talk about it. It's not a coincidence.
That's how I feel right now as well.
Every time I hear that song, I get chills, and I do almost cry because there's so much of the conversion's positive in that song. To not have fear. To just always be ready for something wonderful and beautiful to come out of the sky. It truly is a testament to not just me, but everybody, like Dave's Waffle House, and everybody who gets out there and looks up. It's incredible, and it's just not a coincidence. Nothing right now is happening by coincidence, including today, that in this house, all of a sudden, a huge carpet crew comes in to just fix the carpet in one room. Hammers,
Wow.
saws, a new guy comes to move in. everything is going wrong. But I mean, I'm in a little itty bitty closet. You know, sometimes we're told to go into a closet to pray, and I'm in a little closet to try to get away from all the noise. But not once did I think about giving up, because Brother Seven sees the sky. Brother Seven, you know, and all of us one by one come together. You had to go through hell today. A big
Yes.
storm. Right? I saw on the news that there's a big storm in Portugal and in Spain today. We've been planning on this for 2.5 weeks. So I knew that we would overcome, and I knew that we would do it through the spirit of the love for everybody that's here. Um, you know, you represent so much peace and joy. I
Thank you.
represent fighting and having my sword, but nothing will stop us, and that gives me goosebumps. That brings me to tears. And even though it's been hard today to find one little closet that I can get in where it's quiet, I still would not miss this for the world. I would not miss you for the
Thank
world.
you very much, brother.
Yeah.
I know how it is. Like we schedule things, and if we miss them, it's no big deal. But uh, people have different values on time, right? So some people will be more not happy if we don't do it. You know what I mean? Like if you couldn't do it and you told, "Oh, I cannot do it," and I say, "Oh, it's fine. We'll try it next time." But if sometimes it gets like 3 or 4 times and I can't do it. I had a person I couldn't do it like for months and months. So I'm happy because we get it sorted, and I want you to be part of the channel now. You
Yeah.
were ready, but now you're officially.
Well, you have to remember, John P. and everybody who's watching, we're enemies of the state. We break the paradigm. We break the mold. And whatever is going on in the world right now, and we know what's going on in the world, um, you know, the powers that be fear normal men and women rising up. And if they can throw a wrench in the machine, if they can give us a flat tire, if they can bring negativity and anger, if they can have me drinking alcohol, if they can have other people doing drugs, if they can distract us, then all of a sudden we do lose. And people are understanding, but it's like, oh, here it goes again. You know, Seven wasn't able to make it, and Seven and John can't coordinate. And I say we will coordinate, we will unite, we will keep being skywatchers and frontrunners. We're not just skywatchers, we're people who feel our frequency and our vibration being raised. And if they throw things that try to stop us, we overcome that. And that is why people, like you said, people want to trust that Seven has been saying all week at noon American time, 5 o'clock Portugal time, they will be live. We won't let anything stop us. If I have to go sit outside in the snow and do this video, I will. Nothing can stop us. You know, last night I reached 7,505 subscribers. I broke over, you know, the 500 mark. And then I woke up today and they brought me back down to 7,499. They fear us. Why? Because we have a power and a potential that supersedes electronics and technology. It supersedes money and cash in our pocket. It supersedes our own comfort zone, which is why both of us today realize that this is something is trying to keep us down, but it will not win. It'll never win, and not against me. And interestingly, when we become our own best friend instead of what I do, which is sometimes become my own worst enemy, if we raise our frequency and vibration, then they're even more, something is even more afraid of us. The vampiric parasitic entities that run this world, and they watch us through this. They know what we're going to do. They've heard us both say on Saturday, we're going live at a time that's comfortable for you, comfortable for your family, for your beautiful wife, and she is stunningly beautiful, for your beautiful kids, you know, um, and the particular, you know, energies that I bring, which is sort of a good, just a good kick against negativity. But they didn't stop us. I'm in a closet, and you're overcoming that. The piece of paper that you said that the wind took up and made too high to reach for you.
Oh
You
my God! Yes, my parking ticket validated parking ticket. I took it off the pocket outside of the car while putting the groceries on the floor. A gust of wind threw it in the air. I was running maybe about half a minute, and then I was trying to step on it. Oh, look who's here. Oh my God. Look who's here. I was trying to step on it on the ground. And you know what happened? It flew away to a big fence on like 20 meters above me, like on top of the wall and the fence, and it stayed in the fence. Ah, cuidado. And so then I had to go and get another card to leave.
Yeah.
But I had time, okay? It was like 4 o'clock, so
Yeah.
I arrived home at 4:05 more or less. And it was raining, big winds. Look, Seven, I don't know if you know, but on Christian storm, 6 people died here in the center of Portugal in Leiria. And I don't know if you know, or it has been on the news, but it's a huge city with about 2 million people without electricity, without water. It's kind of apocalyptic, man, over there, and it's not that far away. It's like 3 hours drive south. There's flooding. There's a big dam that was almost crashing, and the Spaniards had to close their dam, and we had to open ours in Coimbra, where Carlos lives. So there was a lady that, oh my God, you're gonna love. It's not love this, but it was a miracle. Do you know those prefabricated houses, small ones?
Yeah.
A gust of wind went, and this girl flew with the house. The house tumbled, and she kind of was thrown, but she was good, with the wind. And there was another lady who lost her life because the roof fell on top of her. Uh, um, a bread maker at 6 a.m. in Nazareth. He was he was gonna deliver the bread as normal. A tree fell on him and he died. So see the cases how people died. They are like really specific, like one was a tree, the other one was a ceiling. So all weaknesses in a fireman died today, Carlos is saying. There's floods here in the river. Um, you Not huge because there has been a lot of floods, but I tell you, man, this wasn't like this last 2 3 years. I don't remember. No, I'm a
Well,
bit scared.
well, people should watch that movie Geostorm with Gerard Butler. I mean, we literally are in the beginning stages, just the tip of the iceberg of what is turning into global geostorms, and it's all interconnected. And the reason why I suggest that people watch the movie, you might not like a lot of Hollywood. We all kind of know who the influence is in Hollywood. It
Oh
is
yeah,
it is evil, but there are elements in the movie industry that want to show us bits and pieces of what's going on. And with Elon's technology and all of the bots, there are literally drone ships in space. I didn't know about that, but they are creating some kind of a satellite network to literally control all of the weather, so as to hide the sky, maybe hide the angelic hosts or the spirits or beings. Because again, I don't want to get religious, but come on, there's something that is trying to reach us from the heavenlies, from out there somewhere, and they're trying to manipulate the weather, and it's getting worse every day.
yeah. I don't know why they do that. I know that they want to kind of, the crops to be good and stuff like that.
Um, Not really, if you think about it, because here in the United States, in Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, they're destroying all the countryside and the farmland to build data centers. And every data center, your typical data center requires 52 million square feet and requires 5 million gallons of fresh water a day to cool down all of the infrastructure inside of those data centers. So,
They want the water for that.
yeah, and when it comes to crops, I remember when I was driving from Colorado back to Ohio, and especially in Indiana, so many, well, not Indiana, but just driving all over the countryside, I noticed that many crops are failing, and there's excessive drought. Um, I'm not sure if their plan really is necessarily to provide more food for the earth. In fact, they want to destroy the farmland to build data centers. And that means coming in with bulldozers and destroying every tree, every blade of grass, every single ant, plant and animal, from crickets to birds to deer. They destroy the land to build the data centers. And with how quickly technology is advancing, data centers will be obsolete in 5 to 10 years. They won't even need the data centers, but that land will not be able to be claimed back. It will not be able to be, the land won't heal for hundreds of years. So I'm not sure what the agenda is when it comes to food, but they're certainly not really concerned with crops and with feeding 8 billion people. They're rather concerned with developing their agents and their technologies.
Yeah, but basically, I think what does look to me is that they're trying to reduce the population like we always thought. That's not no news. And maybe replace us by, you know, robots, you know what I mean?
It
That's
could
what
very
it
well
looks
be.
to me.
Look at that. What?
So explain us, when did you do this? When did this happen?
That was, this channel has been alive for 7 years now, and that was probably in around 2020. And on my hill that overlooks the Ohio River, um, and and that's at sunset when they try to hide three suns. I mean, that is, I can't say definitively, but there seem to be more and more videos and pictures all over the world on Facebook, TikTok, which I just actually signed up to today. I actually did start a TikTok account. Um, and I always used to get to that hill, even if the sky was completely covered. I would religiously get to that hill that overlooks downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, and with an expectation, folks. Again, recognizing potential, which is part of what quantum physics is studying these days. Um, I do believe that I'm quantum entangled with the Nemesis Nibiru system because I've been doing it so long. And anytime that you sort of meld yourself or connect yourself with something either in the sky or 50 million light years away, you become quantum entangled with it. And certainly that appears to be multiple objects in the sky, not just one sun.
Let me get another one. Did you see the show I did on with the other day about the miracle of the sun?
I did not, but I'll be sure to go catch it.
The videos are incredible, man. You have to check a few videos of a miracle of the sun.
Sure.
Oh, I cannot. Where? I'm trying to get to your another email from yours. There we go.
Find the first one that I sent you. The first one. That is the most compelling video. One of the most compelling videos that I've ever seen. I still can't believe that I took it. You see two suns. You see a bright red one behind the clouds. It's not a lens flare. It's the first video email that I sent you today.
Oh my gosh. I didn't see it already yet. Let me see. I think it's this one. Let's see. The wings. It's this one. The wings. Okay, so I was trying to get
Yes, it's that.
my thing to, that's the one. I was trying to get.
And fast forward about 4 or 5 minutes into
Okay, I
your
was able to put you there, but I cannot do that to me. I don't know why.
huh.
Ah, there it is.
You'll see it. Just go through it a little bit, and you'll see it.
Wonderful. There we go. You want me to go forward a little bit?
Yeah,
There we go.
there it starts to reveal itself. It's to the right and above the simulator. Mind blowing.
It's not focusing very good.
It won't make any difference in a couple of minutes. You'll see it.
So, do you think this happens every time, but the clouds make it more obvious?
Um, well, there aren't just clouds up there. Jeff P. and Steve Olson, who were all tremendous sky watchers. There's lensing materials up there. There are massive sort of solar sails. There's lensing equipment and reflecting equipment that would boggle our minds, as well as the super reflective clouds and everything else that they're doing to manipulate the sky. But if you
There's
just fast
possible
forward a little bit,
plasma
John,
in the middle of them, right?
excuse me.
There might be some plasma in the sky as well, mixed with the clouds or disguised, something like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they can their influence. Okay, whoa, where is it? Okay, their influence can be whatever really they need, to show us, or because it does look like lessons. They're trying to teach us lessons. Um, either
Well,
with the sky clouds, the shapes of the clouds. Um,
John, you need to
I
fast forward, buddy.
more
Yeah, you'll know. You'll see it there. It is
good, right?
difficult. You can see it up to the right. There's a red sun. It becomes more clear. Yeah, go ahead and just let it play. It'll show itself. It's incredible. Here in a couple of minutes, you'll see it. There it is. A big
That
red.
red thing on top.
Yeah.
Yes, I do see the three objects there.
Nope. You have to pull back out a little bit.
That's not cloud separating them. I don't know what's creating that. Oh, beautiful. The four. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing very good. You got me shuffling.
That's okay.
Oh, nice. So now it's good. So do you think Nibiru always makes its appearance at sunset?
It's more obvious at sunset, but it's there at sunrise as well. I don't know why sunset is better to capture it. I think that so much of this is spiritual, and I think that the plans of the powers that be, sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes there's the atmosphere shifts and the wind blows their chemtrails away. They're not always perfect, with their technologies or with their plans. You're holding the screen real tilted. If you hold it straight, um, there it is. Look up to the right.
Yep.
In the darkness of the clouds, there is a huge red object.
Yep. There, look.
It's behind the cloud. Yeah, there it is.
It looks like a little bit squared, right?
Well, that's because of the clouds, but it is behind the clouds and it's glowing through the clouds. So I don't know. And I don't know why the video
What
keeps.
do you think? What's the material of this planet? Would you think?
Well, the more evidence that people are doing, the more it appears that we are very much a prison population. We are food. We're psychic energy. There it is again. You can see it up to the top and the right. Just this massive red ball.
Yep. That's the color they portray usually. Nibiru
It's
is as being
a bright, a bright sort of blood-colored red other sun, and I reposted it a couple of weeks ago. So I think that most people in our community have probably already seen this and many other videos where I just inadvertently, by chance, capture what appears to be the simulator, which is hiding so much of what's up there, and then that big red other sun, which typically is at about the 1 or 2 o'clock position. I'm not sure why. But you can even tell that the clouds are just stationary. They don't move. That's shot right there. Before all this began, before the weather manipulation became so apparent, even that view looking into the west, one could just see the weather move over the sky from west to east. And now the big, dark, super disgusting clouds just sit there, and they'll literally move left or right depending on where something might be revealing itself, and they'll just cover whatever it is and then sit there, just stay there for hours. There's no more jet stream, and a lot of channels have spoken about that. A lot of scientists and researchers have certainly spoken about the fact that there's no more natural flow of the jet stream from way off in the horizon, and all of a sudden the clouds would pass over, very much just like this. They would pass over. Now there's pop-up storms. They say pop-up weather. How does weather just appear out of nowhere? And it does, because the HARP, DARPA, you all know about that, the cell phone towers. The weather is almost fashioned to cover the sun or the suns, and also the moon. The moon oftentimes is more, it'll be in the sky all day, or the moon rises with the sun in the east in the morning, which I have never heard of. And I don't care how many people tell me that that's normal. They're probably shills or bots or trolls, but there never used to be skies like this. This is more indicative of a sunrise, where half an hour before sunrise per Google, and the sky completely lights up, almost as if there's a massive object, which I call a nemesis. There's the multiple suns, and then that giant red, super, super massive glow. Who knows?
Oh my God, this is beautiful.
It is. It's incredible. And the powers that be, do not want us to see that. By the way, they know who the sky watchers are. They know what cities we live in. They know where we film. They know where we document, and they do their best to cover it as much as possible.
Wow, man. Look at this freaking view, man. It's completely dark, and there's like that beautiful glow. Look at that.
They fear people seeing that. They do not want us to look up, whether we're a content creator or not. And people all over the world are beginning to look up people who were even burying their head in the sand or looked at people like you and I as if we were conspiracy theorists. They themselves are beginning to look up, albeit very briefly, and then go on about their day. But people are noticing the fake snow, the six-pointed snowflakes, every single snowflake, or they look like Dippin' Dots. They fall and they kind of bounce and roll, or they look like styrofoam. People are noticing that, and they're posting on Facebook and TikTok. And again, not necessarily content creators, just your average man, woman, and people saying, "Huh, this is interesting. The snow looks fake," and it's happening more and more.
I seen your video. I seen your video about the flakes. Remember last year?
Yes.
The 5-pointed star or more?
Yes.
I'm not sure. That was crazy.
6-pointed, and now on certain people's devices, the emoji for snow is a 6-pointed snowflake.
Yes, that's it. That's for sure. Beautiful. Okay, so brother 7, I forgot to ask you the question. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you now. I'll keep showing your videos. Okay, I just need to find a better way because this is killing me.
No,
Okay, wait a second.
John,
I think I can do this like this. Wait a second.
yeah, you know what? People can simply go watch my channel.
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, so brother 7. Usually, I ask this question at the beginning, so I'm gonna ask you. Tell us chronologically, from what you remember, if what influences or how did you start going through this path of asking questions, UFOs, paranormal, ancient history? Tell me how this all came together into the sky watching channel that you have today and singing. Great talent.
Well, in 2015 and 2016, all over the world, though many people began this decades ago, but all over the world, the skies began to change dramatically, especially at sunset. And I've been in horticulture for 30 years, so I've always been outside in the green industry, they call it. And I noticed just a dramatic increase in very unusual, anomalous looking sunrise, sunset, the giant halo ring around the sun, accompanied by a convex halo above it. And I was in contact with Steve Olson and Jeff P. on a regular basis 10 years ago when I began noticing the changes in the sky. And Steve Olson suggested that with the quality and quantity of the videos that I was capturing, to start a channel. And I went and got a really, really good phone and learned how to begin posting my content on YouTube. And having become so interested in the sky, I actually began having astral project, like somebody would visit me in my dreams in the astral plane, and I had a Kundalini experience. I mean, I never believed in Kundalini or the astral plane. I thought that was all just just spooky sci-fi talk, but I began experiencing sort of an awakening of my spirit, a consciousness of an awareness of the fact that the powers that be, including NASA, probably do not want the masses to begin paying attention to the esoteric or the spiritual realm that we exist in. They would prefer that people get up, go to work, clock in, get out, fly home in traffic. But they did, I think that,
Go to the mall,
yes,
buy clothes, waste money and stuff that we don't really need,
yes. And at around the same time, 10 years ago is when cell phone towers began popping up like trees all over, especially in major cities. And again, I used to so thumb my nose at the concept of the 5G, or now probably the sixth or seventh generation of the energies that are coming out of cell phone towers. It doesn't take a rocket doctor or a brain scientist to consider that so many of these objects in proximity to major population hubs like Cincinnati, which, by the way, is the home of General Electric, Procter and Gamble,
Okay.
two companies that were birthed from the World War II mega companies that are involved, like DuPont or the Prescott Bush family, who was selling steel to the Nazis and the Allies at the same time. I realized that we're living under a management of powers that be, especially in major cities, where the cell phone towers are everywhere. The ringing in my ear began, and I mean ringing that pops in one ear, changes frequency, shifts to the other ear. I noticed all of this began happening at the same time in 2016, and that's what drew me into the topic of potentially a binary, if not trinary, star system that we exist in. I learned, for instance, that very few solar systems only have one sun. Very few. An early solar system, as a sun is birthed, it's kind of like when you sneeze. You don't just have one ball of sneeze. It usually is a spread of cough or phlegm. Not to sound so disgusting, but
Okay.
it's the same thing. If you take, for instance, a ball of a handful of honey, for instance, a perfect ball of honey, and if you spin it, there are going to be different globules of honey that are birthed from that. So it's very rare. It's very rare that there's only one sun. Most solar systems are binary, trinary star systems. So I figured, and then I began studying the ancient Sumerian texts, and began following Zecharia Sitchin's writings. And again, this is when I thought that it was all just fantasy and fairy tale. But upon paying so much attention to the sky, I began noticing different experiences that I would have, including having precognizant dreams, or coming face to face with decisions being made in rooms that I've found out since then really exist. Like when a bunch of generals and the State Department and the DoD, when they all meet, they're in big bulletproof plexiglass rooms that have motion sensors, but also have defenses against empaths. They're not just afraid of terrorists per se. They're afraid of people who can infiltrate their decision-making process just in our dreams. And I think that this next part will sort of tie you and I together. When I was a kid, I used to sleepwalk. And there was an entire week when I was 10 years old where I experienced terrifying sleep paralysis. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, but I would see all night long this giant red ball in the outer reaches of the solar system, encroaching into our solar system and rolling towards us, sort of like the movie Fifth Element. And I would lay there in terror, seeing this thing rolling towards us. Then I would actually fall asleep and I would visualize a pin with a massive red planet balanced on the pin on the back of my neck. And then I would sleepwalk and end up in my mom's room. But I didn't remember that until I started my channel. So what is it about watching the sky, or what is it about learning about what NASA is really up to? What is it about when our interest in things become greater than just our bills and going shopping and sort of the daily grind of life? What is it about our minds that once we begin to be curious about things, that more is revealed to us and we begin to have dreams and visions? We become much more empathic. We have certain psychic abilities. I think that there's a connection. I really think there's a connection.
Me too. I think age brings us a lot of experience, but as well, uh, because I have this theory, because kind of time is running out in a way. We want to accelerate to discover things, but at the same time, we have to take care of ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a balance, right? Seven. We cannot be 100% invested on investigating because we have our life to take care of, you know what I mean? Like pay the bills and stuff like that. So they're kind of making it harder for everybody else, low class, medium class, to want to look at the sky and stuff like that. So the rest of the people who are left is, you know, the people who are already making money. They just need to check the bills and check if everything's going in well, and then they can kind of, or the people who earn money by looking at the sky and researching and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Well, there are no straight Skywatch channels like me that go anywhere in social media.
Yep.
I mean, the views, maybe 200 views. Like I mentioned earlier, um, ever since I started my channel, if I gain 10 subscribers, then I lose 5 the next day. And there's no way to grow a channel like that. There's no way to reach any kind of monetary success. It's really, really disheartening. But that there are no sky watchers anymore that are even on YouTube. All the great ones have left and or died mysteriously. But there are no Skywatch channels that go anywhere.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing that I even keep doing it. Furthermore, after 10 years of doing this, they have the finances and resources and technology to continually improve hiding the sky. Um, while people like us, after COVID and after prices have risen. Now, do you know that since 2021, we all know what happened? 2001, and we all know what happened in Lower Manhattan. We are paying 75% more taxes and paying 75% more at the grocery store, at the pump, to turn on our TV. You're taxed for Wi-Fi, you're taxed for your TV, you're taxed for your energy bill. It's almost impossible to even be able to, like you said, afford to take an hour and go stand on a hill videotaping a very distorted and manipulated sky. So, in a way, I think that even though my human self is in despair and broke and feels defeated by all of this, I certainly think that there's a higher calling for which I'm supposed to do this. Because I like to fight. I don't like to give up or surrender, and I can't stand the fact that with the manipulation of the sky and with so much being bombarded on us, that I can't simply occasionally look up and push record and share it. You know, the big channels that, and we all know who they are.
Awesome.
They don't really pay attention to the sky. They'll they'll do their best, and I'm not, in any way speaking negatively about bigger channels that are successful, but they don't do this. They don't videotape sunset and sunrise, though they definitely dance around the topic and issue, and they love UFOs, but they never say, and they love talking about certain aspects of everything going on, but you never hear Mr. NBB3 say sun simulator. They know what not to say. They know what topics to avoid. They don't speak about the astral plane or Kundalini experiences. They've been warned against that kind of language. While people like me, if I'm in this fight, I might not be in it to profit necessarily, either financially or socially. But it's I'm not fighting for me. I'm fighting for something bigger. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, it's for fighting for the truth, really, right? That's what we all want. The truth, or some sort of explanation for the big questions, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna put. Where is your video? There it is. I think this is another one. Yeah. Either way, brother. As well, what else? What I want to ask you? Have you seen any UFOs? I know you have caught some things, right?
Oh yeah. In 2003, I lived in California for a year, in Studio City, actually.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of people in California, particularly, but all over the West, they've seen massive V-shaped ships. And I was driving west towards Malibu one night on the 101. A lot of people who've been in California know what that is. It's just that big old highway where everybody drives 100 miles an hour. And there are mountains that separate Studio City, or LA, as it were, from San Francisco, a huge mountain range wherein there are a lot of military installations. And again, I'm driving west. Well, I wasn't driving, somebody was driving. We're driving west. I look north over the mountains that separate LA from San Francisco. And about 20 miles away, I saw what I thought was a C-130, or a huge cargo aircraft. And in a split second, that huge vehicle did what I call the rubber band. It grabbed the space about a mile away, right where the mountains began. It grabbed the space there, pulled it back to itself, and used the elasticity and tension that it created by pulling that space towards it, and flung itself zip right above us. And it was a massive V-shaped object with lights that went down both sides. I would say it was probably 20 city blocks from wingtip to wingtip. It was just massive, completely silent. It blacked out all the stars, of course, from its shape, but the huge lights that I would say looked like stadium lights, in a sports stadium. They were massive. They flashed a sequence of lights, and then the entire craft went dark as it sort of went, I would say, maybe 5 miles an hour slowly above us. You can't tell me that stuff like that is man-made, by the way. I mean, something that was the length of downtown Cincinnati, something that massive. I could tell. I could tell that the structure itself, as it was a big V, the structure must have been the size of a 20-foot skyscraper building. I mean, the structure itself must have been half a mile in diameter, just as it went down its side, wingtip to wingtip. It wasn't a thin disc. It wasn't made of fluffy material. It was a huge, solid structure the size of a small city, traveling, from north to south, and many other instances of craft burning. And we see it now on social media, things that look like they're maybe the size of a medium-sized building. Let's say something that's 10 stories tall. Huge craft that come burning out of the atmosphere and seem to sort of slow in their descent, that land in mountain ranges, in remote forests, in the desert, not necessarily landing like in a movie right in the middle of a populated area. Um, Orbs that float with clear intent.
Oh my God. Huge
Oh yeah,
storm now. Look.
I bet. Something did not want us going live together today for whatever reason. It gets old sometimes, and I'm not saying that huge system came necessarily just to stop you, but
We're
be safe.
here, brother.
Look at that. It turned dark outside your house. Well, the sun was just shining when we began the video.
Yeah, but now it gets dark really quick, and the weather it was starting to storm, so
Yeah.
it was already before when we started. It was already windy and really dark, but now it's a bit worse. We're
Yeah.
hanging in there. Baby Mel just came here for a quick visit. She must have heard us. Beautiful, man. Look, the V-shaped crafts, they're not very common. And it looked like it was a kind of a mothership, right?
It was incredibly huge. And that's why, throughout my 10 years of doing this, I'm aware of the BR2s and the other triangular or rectangular
RGB,
craft.
yes.
And they're big, but what I saw was the size of an entire city. It was gargantuan. It was the
Like
biggest thing
a
I've ever
Phoenix
seen.
Flight, right?
Excuse me?
More or less.
Yeah,
Phoenix Flight craft.
I've just never seen anything so huge in the air before, and I realize that a lot of times we're wondering if these objects are advanced military craft that have not been.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I
They're
mean,
really going crazy, man.
no, I just don't see how something the size of a city can be produced, gotten into the air, navigated completely silently, unless it's otherworldly. Look at the wind, man. Look at that. Wow.
Do you want to see my palm trees? Look. Oh, I cannot see them. You kind of see them more or less. Let me see. They're the only ones which worry me because they're very tall.
Oh, I see them. Oh man,
But
Lord,
I
please
wanted to show you the top of them. I can't. I cannot see the top of them right here without opening the window. Awesome, brother. I love those crafts. You know, I had never seen the saucer ones, but I have a friend who's seen them, two of them in 2013 nearby in the city. At night, they passed over his balcony where he was in the balcony with his wife, and it passed 20 meters above their heads. Two saucers, metallic, no lights, and they were reflecting the light from the full moon. That's why he saw them. One
yeah.
of them followed an airplane to the airport. The other one stayed in front near a bridge we have, the Habida Bridge. And then the other one came back to meet that one, and they both went south. It lasted like 5 minutes, the the sighting.
Well, and one reason why I definitely understand that we all need to come to our conclusion and make a distinction, if at all possible, between man-made craft, which I do believe the military have. Certainly, they have reverse
Oh
engineered.
yes, yes,
Um,
definitely.
but here in Cincinnati, we're a little over an hour away from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where you can't tell me that they're doing some crazy stuff. And I've seen objects go blazing through the sky at excesses of Mach 10, Mach 20, Mach 30, and yet there would be a plasma trail behind it where you could hear the electricity as it zipped by, and there are two exhausts coming from behind it. That's indicative of man-made, possibly reverse-engineered
Yes.
supercraft with
Fusion, even water systems, you know, because you do know that water does produce electricity somehow.
yeah, and when you and when we perceive any kind of a fuselage or any kind of an exhaust or any kind of a trail behind a craft, then you can most certainly bet that it's man-made. It's the ones that have no clear propulsion systems, no sort of fuselage, no distinct flaps or anything on it, that seem to defy gravity, that blink in and out of our field of view, our ability to perceive. Those are the ones that really,
Cloaking system, yes.
yeah. But when something zips by, even if it's at
Oh my
multiple,
God, this is strong, guys.
wow, look at
I
that.
feel it. I feel it in the window. The
Yeah.
window is shaking like crazy. There's a big tree over there. Wow, brother. I'm sorry, brother. It's a bit scary.
Yeah, I
Okay,
bet.
let me show another video from you. The red sun sitting. Let's see this one again. It's another one, a different one. Beautiful 7. It's such a pleasure to have you here today, brother.
There it is at the 1 o'clock position. A bright
On
red
top, can you see
ball.
the red orb on top?
Yes. What is that?
7, you have contacted people from photographic to make sure it's not a lens problem, a lens abnormality, defect, or something like that, right?
Yeah, that I was holding, I believe, a gold tinted number 11 welding glass in front of the camera. So whatever that is, it's not a lens flare. It
Okay.
doesn't it doesn't move with the camera. You see a lens flare bopping around there, but that doesn't move.
Yes, exactly. We do see lens flare happening.
Yeah.
It becomes unfocused if you go past it because you can see that it's possibly behind the sun, right?
I think so.
Okay. So 7, how do you think that these climate things that they're doing, it's to hide it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's no reason why every single day there is a black ring around the horizon in Cincinnati. And I've been in Colorado and in Michigan and other places, but I've never seen the sky manipulated so drastically, so consistently as in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it turns out that there was electricity in Cincinnati, Ohio before 100 years before it was anywhere else in the country. The Masons started in Cincinnati, Ohio. Go look up the Order of Cincinnati or Ortus Cincinnatus. There were white giants that lived here.
Oh my gosh, you need to see this fucking hell.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, man. That palm tree was shaking like, I don't know, man. It was like halfway to the left. Can you see those two ones over there? The one on the right was like touching the tree on lower down. Oh my God, it was almost breaking, man. I tell you, my palm trees, they're going today. They look like they're all right, actually, but those ones, oh my gosh. Look, it looked like a rag doll, man, being shaken.
I'm not surprised.
Oh my God.
I'm not surprised
Look,
something got this stuff up today.
Seven, the wind is coming from south. The wind is coming from south, okay? I tell you, man, if the wind was coming from east, my roof, I don't know if it would have survived today. I don't know. There's a building on the side, so it does protect it, but so the right side of the house, this side, it has a stronger roof.
Wow.
Right towards me. But the roof is good. If it was the opposite way around, I think my roof from the other side would be screwed, man. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
Good, bro.
It's really going crazy here. A few gusts, it's enough to rip a ceiling, a roof off,
Man, if you could afford it, as soon as you can, I would get a hold of a tree climber, a professional tree trimmer, and I would get those things toppled because the weather is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. And Trump has let us know, I don't know how much sincerity we can apply to him, but he said that this year is going to be a tumultuous year. And I would not take those two trees lightly at all. At some point, if you don't get those topped, they will be crashing down on your house. I would get those cut, man.
Those are from my neighbor. Those we're seeing, but my ones, they're much bigger. As you can see, look, they're thick as fuck. Look at that.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, no, I would get those cut.
Man.
Bruh, there's no way
Do
I
you
would
know
have
they
those.
have my age? Did you know that they have my age? They are 41 years old.
Yeah.
Those, they are my age, That's why I kind of like it, but I do know that
Mhm.
I may
I
have
like
to cut
trees.
them down
I like
very
trees
soon.
too, but those bad boys are going to fuck your house up if you don't get them taken care of. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I've been in horticulture for 30 years with the way that the winds are going, and especially where you live, with the insane weather in Spain and all over Western Europe, well, just all over Europe in general, or anywhere on the coast here in the US, I'd get them bad boys took down before it's too late.
Okay, man. Jeez, how the heck am I gonna do that? They're really huge. I need some ropes to make sure they topple to the side rather than the house.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think from what I've learned, how do you know how they cut them? They climb it, they cut the top,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they start cutting slices and going down.
Oh, yeah.
Because the guy wanted to cut it, but the last time we just trimmed it. But it's been maybe like a couple of years.
No, John, it's called timber.
Yeah, but it's not even good timber. It's the palm trees. It's crap. It's just spongy stuff.
No, it's an American phrase for cutting down a tree. Never mind.
Yeah, I know, brother. You know that it's called the widow makers, right?
Yeah.
The big ones. We had a big plum. I'm not sure if it's plum, but we had to cut it because it died. Got some fungus, and it never produced plums again. And it was almost like 100 years old. And then we cut it, and I'm still burning the wood. I still have a lot of chunks. Let me get another email, another link from you. Brother, have you had any experiences with any entities? You've talked to me about the entity, the one you sometimes you contact. I'd like to know a little bit more about that.
Well, it's the composer. I mean, I didn't grow up Christian, and I didn't even believe in Jesus until until a night where someone that I loved was flatlined at the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, Something was following, their spirit was coming to me, and something was following their spirit. And I do know Jesus. I know him as a savior. Whatever has been manipulated in the scriptures, I don't really care. But I've always wondered who the creator is, because I know that Lord is something that's Masonic. You know, God can be flipped around to dog. So, and then I learned through studying physics, of course. You know, I'm not credited or anything like that. But I've learned that matter, the whole universe is made of frequency. We're a song. So I began calling my God the composer. And since then, he speaks to me. He occasionally sort of laughs, loves our live videos, loves watching us interact. I believe that the hosts of heaven um, enjoy us more than we even know. They're not necessarily all up there in white robes singing out of a hymn book for eternity. That sounds kind of boring. I think rather that angelic hosts and unseen beings engage with us on a day-to-day basis and protect us,
Beautiful.
whisper things to us. Look at that sky. What the? Oh my gosh. I mean, and
Oh,
look at
I
the.
love these colors,
Oh,
man. Your camera is really nice as well.
yeah,
Beautiful.
I always get the best sport edition because I don't know if I'm going to be in rain or what. But look at that. I mean, and that's not manipulated, or anything. Look at that. What in? So I do believe that we are being engaged with, interacted with beings that are either heavenly, interdimensional, and I do believe that there's a war. There are good
Oh
spirits and
my
there.
gosh. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. That was scary, man. Did you hear it?
I heard something.
Oh shit, man. Oh shit, this is not normal. Look,
No,
I had a dream, Seven. I had a dream, man, that I woke up yesterday and I had a dream my garage was gone. I promise you. And I could see my ceiling from the tiles that were gone in my roof. Right here, man. Right here. This is where I dreamt that the tiles were ripped off. And then I looked down there to my garage, and the garage, it was like hanging loose by a little bit, like fucking hell, man. I'm sorry. I am a little bit afraid because I wasn't counting this was gonna be so rough today.
hell, you gotta be scared too.
I don't
But
know
I'm
how we
telling you,
still got internet. I really do not know because the cable must be flying, like whipping, like crazy. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't lose your concentration. But
yeah,
we're live, man, and shit is happening, man. I trust you. Trust me. This gust just destroyed somebody's garage or something, man. I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, someone's been fighting us all day. Something did not want us to go live at all.
Wow, man, it's gonna be rough. Look, I have to tell my wife to let the fireplace run off. Wait a second. Olha, a fogueira vai deixar lá apagar, não? É melhor. Já viste o vento que está? I'm so sorry, man. I'm a bit afraid because my roof is. I did an annex in my house, and the roof always gave me problems since the beginning. And I used to sleep there, but now my kids are sleeping there, and I kind of imagine if something happens, and they are in the room and not me. I have that nightmare once in a while when it's these storms, and I prefer them to sleep in the living room on these storm days. Oh, beautiful. Look at it. Look at it over there. Look. Can you see? Look. That disc on top, Look, Seven, look. That's not it, right? That's not it, but it's a good effect.
It could be.
Look, it looks like it's separated, Look.
Yeah.
That's what I think happens with the miracle of the sun. Some sort of disk goes in between, and it gives that sensation that it's rotating. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just a theory. Oh, now there's a disk and there's a little bit on top. Look, beautiful.
Yeah.
But you see, today we don't see Nibiru appearing. That red. Yeah, look, I do think that it must be very close to the sun. The reason why we cannot see it, the sun kind of obfuscates it.
Yeah.
But there must be another reason why nobody talks about it, why they don't want to
Well,
give it
people on
as
YouTube, I mean, the big channels, they're not gonna they're not going to make themselves vulnerable. They're not going to say the sun simulator. They're not going to say too much, and I don't blame them. I do not blame them. You know, but man, if I was offered, okay, Seven, you're a decent channel, but if you just avoid certain topics like the astral plane or our enlightenment or multiple suns, then we'll offer you 1 million subscribers and you'll be set for life. I would say, fuck you. No, no, I refuse. Is life hard? Yeah. Have I been targeted my whole life? Probably since before birth? Yes. But will I ever take a pet payout or will I be a sellout? No. No. Nope. Sit my ass right here. Broke. My car broke down. Obviously, something didn't want us going live today. You know, but I'd rather be a frontliner and true to my heart and true to our community because most sky watchers are gone or dead.
yeah, man, that's strange. That's strange. What is that a conspiracy, or do you think there's really a targeting thing going on?
Well, I mean, ask yourself, as difficult as it was for us both to go live today, or look at the great channels that have disappeared for whatever reason, or look at the people who've died. I mean, that footage is indicative of something very strange going on in regards to the sun. And now, when you look up at the sun,
Yep.
it's local, it's super bright, it's impossible to even go outside without glasses on. Traffic, I mean, sunrise and sunset, which typically with the time changes, spring forward and fall back, and the time is moved an hour in either direction. Something is amiss, and it amazes me that more people don't pay attention to it. But it isn't necessarily prudent or realistic to pay so much attention to the sky, even though all of our ancestors did until the advent of technology, the advent of the TV, the advent of social media, and the real of I mean, kids aren't outside anymore. I remember in Colorado, I lived
Hmm.
next to an affluent, really beautiful subdivision with 4-bedroom houses, 3 and 4 car garages, and there was not ever one child outside playing. They're all inside doing this.
Yes, man. Time. Look, we do try to restrict the computer to my kids as well,
Yeah,
a little bit, but they do have their own tablet and the computer.
that footage right there, that is after sunset, looking into the due east after sunset, looking into the due east. What are those two huge glowing objects? And I mean, those are massive, massive objects, chariots of the gods. I mean, those are huge. And in the east, after the sun has already gone down behind me on my hill here in Cincinnati. What the fuck are those two things? That's some of the most incredible footage I've ever taken. And that was March 14th, 2019. What is that? Two completely different thermal signatures, two completely different colors. What is that? That's probably the most incredible footage I've ever taken on this channel.
It's quite. You're quite high up, right?
Very much so, yes. In that footage, I'm
Like
actually
a little
over.
mountain. It's like a
I'm,
little mountain.
well, I'm overlooking a municipal airport called Lunken Airport, where there was actually a star fort in the 1700s. It was completely leveled and buried over. Now there's an airport there. But it's interesting because the man who surveyed the land in the 1700s and 1800s, the man who surveyed the land actually disappeared. I don't know what happened to him, but he disappeared and nobody knows where he went. And there was a star fort there that was buried and turned into an airport. Fort of Cincinnati.
Oh, Starport. That means the Spaniards were there.
The Masons started in Cincinnati, Ohio. And there are videos that are kind of difficult to find. But if you look up the hidden, true, esoteric history of this city, you will be amazed. Find 15, 20-minute videos and find out that there were white giants that lived right across the river in Kentucky. Or find out more about Serpent Mound, which is the world's largest effigy. It's about an hour east of here.
Oh yes, I heard about it.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
They're always finding stuff there. I know on that mound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I would guess those mounds are maybe burial. I don't know. Maybe that's my guess. But there's a lot of Oh, look who's talking! The AI Michukachu. Damn, they still use this guy to do lies, man. Okay, let's go for your next video. Oh, we have a few, man. We're doing good. Oh, look at that. What is that? Who are you?
That is when I did a thermal markup. So you can see the actual heat signature of those two objects. And the one on top has a different color than the one on bottom, which means that they have different thermal signatures. It's so odd. It's two suns.
Wow, man, look at that.
Incredible.
Very interesting, brother. Kind of meld together.
What in the what? And I don't even know what the huge red glow is behind them. You know, I think that there's even more going on than just two suns. I think that there may be a massive galactic object that has infiltrated our solar system that is really behind all of that. No pun intended.
I do have a theory that once every, a certain number of years, a planet appears and coming like just like this this last one, Atlas, a planet but bigger appears, and that's what causes kind of a big change on the orbit of our planets, and even maybe the tilting of the Earth, because everybody knows that the planet is already tilting, okay? They cannot lie. The sun is not setting on the same place anymore, okay? You do notice that, Seven?
Oh yeah, it shifts. I mean, when I videotape the sun or suns, that's part of why I understand that the big, bright, white, shining light that often blinks, it's a simulator because it moves, which is indicative of it being on a stationary object, probably in a low atmosphere, with thrusters trying to keep it in perfect geosynchronous orbit with what is behind it. That picture right there, the big one is white. The one on the bottom is yellow. That means that they both have a different thermal signature. They are different objects, or else they would both be that glaring white light.
Yes.
And the sun simulator wobbles ever so noticeably. It does. There, you know,
Which
in that,
one do you think is the simulator, the big one or the small one?
the big one.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And you can see even other objects.
Like the Chinese made that sun. Do you think the West made the sun as well?
Well, the Chinese simulator, quote unquote, there's a whole lot of strange manipulation to that news, because when they announced the Chinese simulator, the first video that we all got to see of it was them launching it off of a beach in China where there was a huge audience. But then, shortly thereafter, the information on the internet changed, and it wasn't in the sky. It was that the Chinese had created a simulator that's in a laboratory that has the force, the power, the energy output of the sun, but it was actually just, and that's why I speak about the convergence or the manipulation of the timeline, because information changes depending on people's reaction, how people post their own videos and their own information. So it went from the Chinese launching a simulator into the sky, which many of us saw, to a few months later, a sun simulator in that it's an energy or power source in a laboratory, not actually a sun.
Yeah. It's creating the nuclear fission that the sun does create, right? That
is exactly that's exactly how they changed the story. Yeah, they changed the narrative to fit their agenda, not to follow actual hardcore evidence. And even though I'm just some little YouTuber, a man on a hill who sees the sun going down, it's consistent information that I put out when I can get out to any elevated area at sunset. But at least I'm consistent. At least the footage is consistent. The videos that I put out are consistent, much more consistent than the mainstream media or all the scientists all over the world, including, the union of, is it Lauschenbaum and NASA? Lauschenbaum is a company that produces contact lenses. So their business is to reflect and distort and manipulate light images, and they're responsible for these massive halos that we see around the sun, a big rainbow around the sun.
Oh, nice one. Why do you think they do that? Is it still the hiding or experiences or investigation, things like that?
Well,
Both.
Well, that's why I suggest that people watch certain movies like Don't Look Up, which is actually a comedy / documentary on how the powers that be, they worry about elections first, primaries and so forth, and then they worry about the reaction of the populace. That's two suns right there. One's yellow, one's red. There may be three of them, actually. It's why I like Dr. Claudia Albers from Planet X News, because she speaks of stellar remnants, old stars that have burned out, that are magnetically attracted to our sun, which is why you've seen footage of big black circles attaching themselves to the sun for a period of hours or days, and they siphon off plasma, and then they release, which begs the question, are stars or suns alive? Do they feed off of each other? Are they feeding off of our sun as we speak? Are they siphoning energy off of our sun? Has our sun really been drained to a point where it's actually red, which necessitates, look at that. Look at that. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist to discern at least in your heart, somewhere in your cerebral cortex, that there may be one. Look at what the. Come to your own conclusions, people, because I'm no expert. That looks like 3 objects. What?
Beautiful.
This is so much fun. And I rebuke the spirits that tried to stop us from doing this today. And I am in a little closet, and I've been praying the whole time that you are okay, that your family is okay. You're such a
Thank you,
beautiful, you're
brother.
such a beautiful cat, dude. I mean, we all love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stefan, do you want to sing us a song?
Well, I mean, I could sing all kinds of ditties and stuff, but I'm not really set up to do it right now. My life is in tatters. I don't have my guitar. I'm sitting in this little 3-foot by 4-foot closet, hanging on by faith alone, and I don't have anything to sing right now.
Do you want to sing along this song I'm going to put now?
Yeah, no, but I'll listen to it. Play the 7 song. Play Brother 7.
Yes, of course. Oh my God, look, it's already there. I didn't put it there, I promise.
Well, the Convergence Negative has been trying to knock us off today, but I always say that the higher purpose, the composer, that there's something bigger.
Sorry.
Light and love will never part. On to Nibiru we will go, where the stars begin to glow. Guided by a force so true, you will see us all through. Brother Seven, fearless eyes, watch the truth and
See the skies.
on this road with open heart. Light and love will never part.
On to Nibiru.
We'll go where the stars begin to glow. Guided by a force so true, they'll see us all through. Ooh, when the shadows fall away,
Bum, ba-da-da-dum.
Brother Seven shows the way. We believe in what he sees. Love and light will set us free. With each step he takes in stride,
Brother Sam.
Ooh, the Convergence Negative just ain't having this today.
Sorry. Beautiful.
he takes in stride.
Please connect with my brother Seven, everybody.
In the night, his song we hum. Brother leads us one by one. Brother shepherds follow away. Brother Seven shows the way. We believe in what he sees. Love and light will set us free.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. And I forget that.
Amazing.
I forget that sometimes. The fact that we were able to share multiple videos today of something anomalous including the thermal markups, which prove that whatever the light sources are, they have different thermal signatures. And that requires an idiot like me going to a hill, come hell or high water, no matter what time of the year is, in the blazing heat of summer, or in the frozen night of the winter. And just knowing that for a few moments, I might capture something that nobody in the world can do. Nobody in the world, in terms of YouTube or social media, really dares show, because they know that they might, experience what I've experienced for 10 years, which is just not quite being able to get a leg up. But I do have faith, and I do believe in the community, and I do believe that as the days, weeks, and months and years, if we're granted that, as time goes on, more people are going to be looking up. And I do believe that at some point my channel might, God willing, gain the attention and the notoriety that it deserves.
Amazing, brother. That's why I've had an eye on you since I met you, my brother, because I kind of, I'm not gonna say, when I started, I saw you, and your voice is so captivating. You have a lot of experience, and nobody's perfect anywhere, brother. So please do not feel that you are less or than anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
everybody has the same sort of issues, either with something or something else. And the best thing we can do really here on YouTube is just try give a little push to each other
Yeah.
and grow, because when we get the numbers, more people will watch. And if more people is watching, it's just like, I'm not gonna say it's the same as TV, but you kind of get rewarded a little bit, and that's enough for us to go by, right? And
Yes.
help us in our day-to-day tasks. So I have to thank you very much for coming here today. Either way, we have some questions now. We're gonna make questions 7, okay?
Yeah.
This is the first one. Okay, this is from Gators.
I'm back in Cincinnati. The energy of the world wanted me back home, with my family, even though there's, after COVID, so many families are distant, but something wanted me back here. There was an inexorable, um, irresistible pull to come back home and to get my life together and to become, the true heart and soul and man that I'm supposed to be, not pulled left or right, not beholden to drinking. I'm in a huge community of people in Cincinnati who need, a recovery from mental illness, substance abuse. I'm going to get involved with helping people overcome their own personal demons, and that's helping
Beautiful.
some people in my family. I'm not the only one in my family or in society at large who feels so conflicted and struggles with finding their true inner self. And that is what I believe I was called back here to do.
I'm so happy, brother, because as much as sometimes we feel like running away, it's best to always go back to the roots. And that's the place where you're gonna be the happiest, because that's the place that created the best memories, you know?
Yeah.
And remember, your family, the elder ones, they do not last forever. And you better take advantage of the last times that they have to spend with you. I've been angry with my mother for 5 years, and the last 4 months we talked again. And even though she was lying to me still and stuff, she tried to be nice and to me and the family and everybody. And so I kind of I do not dislike her anymore, and I do know that whatever she left us, even if it's debts or something else as well, some good things as well. Um, her last month, she wasn't really good of her head, so it's not really her fault. That's not her real person. So, my memories of her are the ones that when we were good and friends and things like that. So that's just make them go to your family, and they have to remember you and remember the good things, because remember, when they're gone, you're gonna have so much time in your hands that you don't even know. Okay, you're gonna have a lot of time to help others. So just remember to be there to your whole family. I'm not specifying anyone specific, everybody, who you like or who still wants to talk with you. And then, remember, you may not be the most nicest person for them, but just the fact that you're there and you want to, I don't know, just want to get them the bread, even if you just get them 5 breads a day, that will be enough for them to remember you for a good thing, and maybe allow you to get closer. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I do.
Because that's the aim, is for you to get closer and belong as as when you were born. Because those people, your mother, she doesn't have a lot of years, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to remember you. So please do that for me, not for me, but for you, and tell me in some time if it was worth it, because it's family. I had my grandparents here in my house, and they didn't forget me and my family. We were with them until the end, like all of them. Both my grandparents who were here in my house. So we do have a lot of death here in the house. My father, my grandparents, and then my mother. So we have 4 people here who passed. And I do think that that's what's keeping me not wanting to leave. I kind of feel the protector of their spirits. Va, sai daqui. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like I have to protect them, protect their essence. I kind of don't mind if they're here, if they passed here. I really want to be the one taking care of the house and them. But so that's why I'm telling you that, because um, those feelings, they grow with each death. They grow more. They grow stronger for me. So I kind of really want to stay here and finish my days here as well. But let's see if it happens. But nothing's guaranteed. But I will try. Either way, my brother, share your channel to finish off, and maybe leave. Okay, so is there any more questions, everybody? I did ask for questions. Nobody has anything. 7, did you know that I had? I told you about my sighting like 3 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, I keep up. I keep up on your videos, and you consistently have visitors in your sky. They're watching you. It's the watchers, and I'm not surprised that they would watch you. You're
I was
MO.
needing them. I was needing them that day, I think.
Your your attributes are ones of selflessness, um, joy, and just being in your community. Rarely do you display a selfish, self-centered, self-serving energy. You know, you're just so consistent with your beautiful family. You do more for us than I think you realize. You set an example of someone who enjoys being in the present moment. Sometimes I wonder how you do it. You overcome with not over. Uh, you don't overemphasize. You keep things simple, and
And
therein,
small objectives every day,
yeah,
but continuous. Try to add up, you know,
yeah,
subtract sometimes, but mostly I try to add up.
yeah. And a lot of us need that. A lot of us, overcomplicate our lives every day as soon as we're up in the morning. And interestingly, when I wake up, there's always a John P video due to the time difference. But I'm reminded to stop into John P Adventures and make sure that I say hello. And interestingly, when you're live and I click on somebody else's channel, it typically doesn't allow me to go to their channel. Something is watching us. But that being said, I start my days making sure to check out your post because you're live, and it just reminds me, don't overcomplicate. Keep it simple, stupid. And you
Yeah,
just you did
exactly.
that. Yeah.
That's how I did my course in England, you know. One thing at a time, and then our memory will add up, you know, because I do have a little bit of a photographic memory, things like that. Beautiful. Everybody, this is my brother Seven, and I do hope you enjoyed our talk today. Um, I want to have Seven back again next time to play. We will start with the music, Seven singing us, or
Oh, yeah.
doing a little bit of how do you say it, a jam.
Yeah, just improv, baby.
And we'll deal with the trolls. I'll help you deal with the trolls.
Well, some of them aren't even people. Many of them are just bots or an algorithm. But again, when it comes to the sky, or when it comes to here in the horizontal level of the Earth, it's all to hide our frequency. It's all to keep us from reaching our higher potential. And you and I both went through today
Exactly.
for 2.5 weeks. We planned on doing this. And today, this morning, a crew of people come in to rip out the floor, and they've got saws and hammers. And somebody else came in, and there was confusion. And I just found this little closet up here. When you were out grocery
Beautiful.
shopping, so many things came to try to blow you left or right, but we made it. We did this video. We kept our fucking word. And that's what front runners do.
Thank you very much, my brother. You know, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you and learn a lot because you do have keep that your notebook very close. Right? Yes, the notebook. We love it.
Well, thank you, John. It's a blessing. Um, I don't think I can emphasize enough to you how much you mean to all of us. You just keep it so in your lane, and you don't look left or right. You don't let too much influence you. And I appreciate the father and the husband that you are, and the son and the grandson that you are. You're more important than you know, my brother.
Thank you. That's really my only aim is the family. The rest, you know, I do if I was busier on my other jobs, I would not have time to be here with you guys. So I kind of have to bless me not having a 9 to 5 job. I'm kind of a freelancer, you know what I mean? So I kind of have several little jobs which add up to almost a job. Not quite a job, but adds up, you know, it all adds up. And my wife, she educates children. She works, she's not working right now, but she's a 9 to 5 worker, so it's she does have to work quite a lot. But right now I'm blessed to have her here at the house, so I can prioritize a little bit more the channel. And then if I need to do more, I'll do more, you know. I still have time during the day to do my usual jobs, you know, osteopathy, antiques, I even do gardening, you know, whatever, you know. I'm a good salesman. I'm a good salesman of antiques, okay, and little appliances. The UFOs is kind of my passion, you know, is I used to look, I still am a little bit materialistic, but only because I know the value of them, you know, of little things of like I call it trash. Not trash, but antique trash, which is many people throw away and I restore and I sell it. That's what I like to do, but that's not enough to live off, you know. N- No, no near. So I do invest sometimes on some antiques if they're like, if people are really desperate. If I do work with the heart as well. So I've given money to people and I kept stuff for more than 5 years. So I do have like one of those chairs with massage chairs. It's not really massage, it's kind of shaking. They shake a little bit and warm up maybe a little bit. And I have it in my living room and I helped a lady and I don't even remember. I don't even want to remember how much I paid for it, and it's still there. And I should never have bought it. I do have a chair, an old granny's chair made of American oak, and I did pay a little bit many years ago, and I still have it. But I tell you, Seven, I use it every freaking night. I go to my living room once a night and I watch some videos and I smoke a cigarette because I can't smoke um, because of the kids. So I have to go to another room. And so I close it. I do smoke a cigarette occasionally there, maybe one a night. And then I'll close the door and the next day it doesn't smell anymore because it's, oh, look who's here, Sydney. Everybody connect with each other and my brother Seven. He's amazing. Ah, I just hurt myself. Either way, Seven, I want to tell you this quick before we go. This quick sighting I had some weeks ago. So I always like to tell this to my guests because it's kind of new. So my mom had passed maybe about a month ago. And when, oh, thank you very much, mwah, my sister. Thank you so much, Sydney. Sydney, please post your other channel, the sunny one. Okay, so my wife, I was still recovering from flu A because when my mom passed away on the 27th of October, the day before my wife's birthday, look at how unlucky we were. I caught a little bit of a runny nose for a few weeks and then it kind of passed out and then it came back. And then when it came back, Seven, it came back with freaking strength, you know, like uh I was having tremors at night after 5 p.m. So today we started at 5. So usually at 5 p.m. My I would start shaking of cold, and I would have to get really dressed. And then, because I'm a smoker, and my baby Mel sleeps with us, before I went to bed I had to change clothes, like change the t-shirt, and I couldn't do that because so I would have to change t-shirt and then put my robe, not the same one, the other one, because I got two. The other one, I would put the robe and then I would go to bed and try to fall asleep because I would be really cold. And that happened for a week. That was the flu A, I think. That's what my friends told me. And so I was recovering from that. And my wife told me, "Oh, we have the scouts dinner. Do you want to come?" And I said, "Oh, I'm almost recovered, but I know that it's gonna be cold there, and I wanna stay here near the fireplace." And she said, "Okay." And I was quite surprised she wasn't angry with me. Usually she gets angry. Like today, she got angry because I asked her to pick up my son because I had the interview. So that was something quite personal, and it didn't want to allow me to relax and get calm half an hour before I talked with you. And so either way, she forgot something in the kitchen, and so I was in the fireplace. I heard the window of the rolling door opening, and I'm like, "Who is that?" And no light was turned on, and I was like, "Is that you, wifey?" And she didn't answer, and I'm like, "Oh, she's angry for sure." And so she closed the door, and I stood up slowly and I went to the door. I don't know why I stood up slowly. I think I was kind of tired, I was still tired. I took my time. I got to the door and I looked down to the garage and I saw her turning on the car, like, and the van turned on, and I'm like, "Okay, it was her. It's her. It was her." And 7, and I'm like, "Okay, it was cold as freaking hell. It was really cold." And 7, as I'm closing the rolling door, like, can you imagine the door is doing this? And I stopped like that because I saw a golden orb. It was powering up still, but it was starting to power down, but always moving from right to left. And I saw a star, and below the star, right over a big building we have here, facing, it's like 1 kilometer from my house, but it's on the direction of the sea, okay? Going west. It's on west direction. And 9 kilometers, it's the sea, okay? So this orb was over the sea, I'm sure, okay? But it was above the building and below a star. And I saw that orb, and it wasn't the first time I saw it when I was smoking a cigarette on my rolling door window of the kitchen with my brother Raymond. You may know my brother Raymond. Roger knows him. My brother Raymond, he was live, and I was talking with him on the chat then, and I looked a little bit, not over the building, but more a little bit northwest, and there's a house, 2-story house, and it looked like it was being expelled by the balcony of that building, and the same golden orb moving from right to left. And 7, look at this. I saw that first one over the building, and I thought to myself, if I see another one in the next minute, I'm gonna get a cold, but I'm gonna look for it. And if I see another one, I'll get my phone. that was the message I had in my brain. And that one disappears, powers down, and it disappears, becomes a star but moving, and it disappears. And then a minute later, another one happens on from the left to right, like that. It started, powered up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the phone. And when I got the phone, I did the video, the 15-minute video or 16. And and those two that I saw before the video, plus the ones on the video that I report, but they weren't on the phone. And then at the end, I start asking them to appear on my phone, Seven. And one of them appeared. But then I started looking for the footage, and I found two of them. So after, there's one at 9 minutes 57. It's called Skywatch something. And I caught like 6 on the video during the 15 minutes, but only 2 of them appeared on the camera, on the camera, you know. So I was kind of reporting them, but they didn't appear. And then at the end, I caught 2 of them, and I was thanking them. And even one of them, I didn't see it. And then when I reviewed the footage, I caught it. I saw them both. It was beautiful, man. And I told you I wasn't looking for them then, but I kind of feel that they have something to do with my mother and my father reconnecting in the sky. You know, I do have that feeling that, remember, there were 2 of them at the beginning. There were 2 of them that appeared on the video. I saw about 8 orbs, maybe 10. I'm not sure. But that's the thing. So that's my story, Seven, that I had a few weeks ago. Beautiful, man. I told you, man, I got all chicken skin. It was like, I know we can produce those effects on ourselves, you know, but I do know that those effects are what make us travel with our minds and maybe contact those intelligence, because I'm not going to see their beings, you know, but they're definitely intelligences that roam our atmosphere and maybe the interior of the land, you know. Maybe they like the lava and inside the it's warm, you know. Maybe the the hell and heaven does really exist, and heaven is that layer in the atmosphere where the plasma lives, and hell is the inside of the earth where, you know, it's a little bit warmer. So you know what I mean.
Yes, sir.
And then maybe evil and good, it's all the same, because um there's no evil without good. And you know, evil and good doesn't exist when we are spiritual, you know. We're all just you know, intelligence entity. That's a little bit of my, and we kind of renew ourselves, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, you know,
We go up and we go down.
one thing's for certain, you definitely are surrounded by the watchers, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe we'll talk about that on another video.
Yes. Yes. The man in the cape, or the black shadow man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Seven, amazing, brother. Thank you so much, man, for coming here. We did 2 hours. I'm so happy for today. Do you want to leave a last message to the viewers?
Well, I think that you've already, you know, sort of
Yeah,
set the
we
frame.
brushed.
Yeah, I think that you sort of set the framework for that. You know, we're beings of energy, and the more light and joy and comfort and compassion that we spread, it affects the whole world. It ripples outwards, and and it does have to do with the sky. It does have to do with the powers that be hiding our true potential. And you're a living proof that every single day, in the simplest of ways, we can raise our frequency to do tremendous things. So thank you very much, John. I really appreciate it.
You too, my brother. Big hugs, Seven. And hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Okay, my brother?
Yeah, man. Bye,
We're
everybody.
gonna finish with the music. You can leave if you want, when you
I'm
want. I'm
listening.
just gonna put the music and then I'm gonna go and have dinner, okay? Seven, my brother.
Searching for sky anomaly.
What about
Extraordinary ideas, revolutionary. We'll give a blue range up to
everybody?
we'll have a community. Keep an eye on new ways. We can support instead of compete. Now everyone gets to the beat of a beat. Here comes the young people. He loves you and you belong. And his wife and kids everybody belong.
What about
Searching for sky anomaly. You find out love community. I was a revolutionary.
yeah? What about what's up, Matao?
Showing us all just how much love can be.
What about
Speaking English, Spanish, or Portuguese, they can read us and set them free while the world outside tries to put us all down on our knees.
me? What about thank you, my people? I got 5 kids on this video already. Na 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 na. It was all a dream. John P loves you, my people. Stay blessed.